Today is September 7th, 2023. Still going on today. Um, you know, I was up in Akron when the old drug dealers from Ravenna showed up again, when those old bitches, part of the wah group, okay, line group. Karen's Will's going to take care of this today. She thinks she's going to tell on them. He ain't going to do jack split. Seriously. You're just up there lying to people, okay? So I played my tape of drugged and told to say stuff. Dave defended me. It's the same thing the police have. And people outside screamed, nobody say a word to her. Some of the people across the street said it was a mean, I had wrote on Facebook, it's a mean teenage stunt. You would thought this was a stunt done by like seniors in high school, mean cheerleaders, or a thing from college, that the college kids did it. Okay? Because you got to think about this, where they go to jail for hazing people. Okay? Think of some mean cheerleaders, either in the last year, senior in high school, or first year of college. Okay? They're mean girls. They don't like somebody. So they break in and have the guy set up button camera stalking him. That's sick. Oh, we can Photoshop that shower, so you can just click and paste it, make fun of her. Oh, you know what else we're gonna do? Slip in a roof here. Have one of the guys stab her with one of those diabetic dogs. We'll tell her to say something stupid so she's sleepwalking. Then have the football team go over and dog beat and rape her. And she'll wake up with bruises, throwing up, and sick, and she won't know what happened to her. And sit and laugh. You think of mean, sick cheerleaders, senior in high school, playing a mean stunt on somebody in high school they don't like. Or the freshman year of college, some mean, sick girls getting even with somebody in school they don't like. Now, you've seen stuff like that on 2020 and other shows of these people were hazing this person, they were doing this to this person. They went to jail for it. How many times has it been on TV where they roofied someone, drugged and raped them? Got them drugged up at a party, told them to say a bunch of stuff. It happens a lot. And you know what happens? They go to jail for it. That's where that everybody been talking about that Michelle on at Kohl's on Sunday. She was taped out there screaming. These people better not ever say a word to her. That idiot already confessed. He photoshopped everything on her. The other girl's like, well, she's some kind of nurse. I know. And these people better not be saying a word to her. That idiot already confessed he photoshopped everything. Well, you told those people you wanted everything, so they made sure you got it. She broke up with him. As soon as the divorce was over, they broke up within a few months. It was no longer fun. Destroying me, having me drug beat, raped, stealing everything, because there was nothing else to do. So they broke up because she's 18 and he's 60. They broke up in 19. I was talking to my daughter-in-law, Dixie. And I said, do you know about Michelle? Yeah, I knew about her. Okay, later on I said, but I know you know about Michelle. Did you know about retired George Pete? I said, oh, I found out about him. She said, I always told everybody it was ridiculous what retired George Pete and Michelle did to you for Dave to go out with other people. It was none of their damn business. Thinking that they're the cheerleader. Was she even out of high school? She looked barely 18. She's what, 22, 23 now? Was she even out of high school? She had the football team? Her drug friends that she's connected into? Huh? Seriously. I was talking to my one sheriff friend, said, with your ex-husband wanting to date her that young, he's a pedophile. I said, well, she was at least 18. He said, I don't care. You go 40 plus years, you're a pedophile. You want something that young and you're 60, there's something wrong with you. Well, when she got done playing with me, her and her drug friends, she broke up with Dave. It wasn't funny. God help her new boyfriend's wife that doesn't know about their affair. She probably won't live. But yeah, you start thinking about these mean teenage kids in high school, these seniors that are cheerleaders, that get wrapped up in drugs. And they don't like a girl in high school. And they want to get even with them. One sick enough that would have their friends set up behind cameras watching them. Well, we can Photoshop that shower scene, make her look weird and crazy. Oh, why don't you have the drug guys go over and stab her with a date rape drug? Tell her to say something stupid. She won't know it. She'll just be bruised. You know what? Might as well have him beat and rape her. She's evil. Told you. Even Michelle told him to knock it off. Why? Because she hadn't been with Dave for 4 years. 4 years. Wasn't fun anymore, destroying me. They broke up. Like, I asked Dixie, I said, are they still dating? She's like, Karen, they broke up way before Kathy. Kathy was in 2020. So they had to break up right after my divorce. Because it was no longer fun. You guys, I just look at you people. People have walked around me, don't say a word to her. They're not even together anymore. And you know what I mean? And people have said from Hartville, we've seen where that Michelle even defended her. That John better fix this. On Monday in Hartville. Tuesday in Walmart 62 parking lot. Now my car will pick up 3 parking lots away. There is a tape of Michelle admitting that they photoshopped everything. There's also tapes of them mocking FBI agent John for falling for everything. Then you come down to it. There's federal constitutional laws. No one can be in your home. As if your husband that's cheating on you and you don't know who he's cheating with. Okay? The girlfriend and her drug friends and her weird dad can stalk you. They go to jail for stalking. There's laws of stalking and menacing. You can't even follow somebody around and take pictures of them. Okay? You set up button cameras, it's stalking and it's peeking Tom tapes. Peeking Tom tapes are not reliable. And then there are date rape, amnesia, drugs, or sleepwalking. I gave you several descriptions of people sleepwalking. I even watched something on TV the other night. Some idiots had tried some kind of drug and they freaked out and they ended up running through their allotment where they lived naked. Woke up in somebody's yard and they were up hallucinating all night. And they had tried, I think, LSD by mistake instead of ecstasy. And they said, well, we won't, at the end they were laughing that they wanted to move anyways. But the whole thing of it is, I have a friend I was talking to. He said my neighbor woke up and some naked man was walking around her living room talking like it was nothing. She called the police on him. He'd act like he didn't even know where he was at. He said he had been high on something. Well, I really hope he took those drugs himself, because if he didn't, somebody got him high, stripped him naked, and put him in somebody's house. That would have been mean. But you know what? That's where Mike got roofied in a bar. Drove around high all night, went to the bank, went out to eat, came home, changed his shoes, and didn't know how he got home. And I've always wondered, with him changing his shoes, I hope they didn't strip him naked and take pictures of him. Because he told everybody he was an astronaut, nice to some people, told other people to F off. Dar, my one co-worker, took one drink out of a bar, acted a little happy but normal. Group of people come up and she talks to him for a long time and she leaves with him. Her friends didn't think anything of it because she was acting normal. She found herself in a puddle of pee, sick, throwing up, really dizzy, couldn't hardly sit up the next day. Sound familiar? 2 months later, she found she was pregnant. She's like, how could I be pregnant? I've not had sex with anybody. They had raped her, redressed her, and left her in a puddle of pee. She didn't even know she talked to them. They're amnesia drugs. I've talked to sheriffs about them. Said those date rape amnesia, or those amnesia drugs are so bad they could have drugged up the people and told them to take down the towers. They killed everybody and didn't know they did it. They control you for 4 to 6 hours. There's all kinds of amnesia drugs that are either hallucinogenics or they're just plain out roofies and you're sleepwalking. I have talked to other officers about it. The same thing. Those amnesia drugs, they control you for 4 to 6 hours. You say and do what you're told. Even my one friend, he's like, I've heard about those roofies. You can slip them to those women, and they'll be real nice to you, talk to you, go home, you have sex with them, tell them to get dressed, you leave them somewhere, it wears off, they don't know what happened to them. I've heard of them. I've talked to sheriffs about them. They know all about the amnesia drugs. They're sleepwalking. I've talked to several of my sheriff's friends, and how bad they are. They all know how bad they are. Okay, there are fake sodium pentothal reports. They were date rape drugging me by the second week up there. Do you realize, think of mean teenage, like people up in Akron were saying, it really was a mean teenage stunt. And what they did to her. And none of it's funny because they raped her. It's not funny they drugged me either. And publicly humiliated me and then laughed that they fooled an FBI agent. And then you come down to it. FBI and Federal Bureau of Investigators, they would know about roofies. They would know stalking tapes aren't admissible. They would also know they're not credible. I've talked to sheriffs about them. They said, everything's digital. It's not like back where they had splice tapes. You actually can fill stuff in digitally. You can move stuff from room to room, and then you can even Photoshop over voices. I even put up on my Facebook, you can get apps for that. Okay? He said it's not even been reliable for years. Nothing's reliable. And he said they can even Photoshop over your words. And then I told him about the bruises. He's like, is your local police slow? They should have arrested all these people. They can't be in your home. They can't do any of this. Huh? See, that's where a Federal Bureau of Investigator would know about roofies. He would know the Fourth Amendment, that nobody's allowed in your home, let alone your husband's girlfriend's dad and drug friends, and the fake sodium pentothal reports that they have been drugging me. And date rape drugs, you sleepwalk, and you're under somebody else's control. And then on top of it, he would know that they could Photoshop other words. See, that's where even my other friend, he used to have a job working, he has a friend that works on Facebook. He said, everything's digital. They could take a sentence as if I'd be a car thief, and you have I be a car thief, and then take other words out of other sentences, and then Photoshop and make a whole new thing. Nothing's trustworthy, and that's where my sheriff's friends are like, everything can be Photoshopped anymore. Everything's high-tech. I even seen on Google where this guy on stilts, they Photoshopped him as a real gorilla, giant gorilla. So it looked like the gorilla was talking. They Photoshopped the mouth moving and everything else. And so he would be walking the way he wanted to. You got to think, people have that technology in their phones, in their computers. They can Photoshop anything. My allergies are acting up horribly. But the whole thing of it is nothing's reliable. You do realize they have the churches taking up $25,000. It was Keith Bishop, Strange and Rock, because they wanted me dead. And they hired these people. You do realize they have that Dave and Jack had this plan since March because I wouldn't give up everything willingly. Dave hired 2 men to kill me. And Dave thought his girlfriend's family owned the police. You know why he said that? So I wouldn't call the police. Do you know why these old drug dealers tried to tell you the police were doing it to me? Because they don't want you to go to the police if they do it to you. Because you won't trust them. That's where could that federal officer, that federal cop, ever fall for a drug scam? Of a Photoshop shower scene? and date rape drug confessions. I've never been questioned on wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. I have nothing against me. Think about that. I have nothing. That's why I have my notary. A Stark County judge had to sign off on my reputation 3 years ago. Why? Because when people victimize you on that level, it makes you a victim. That's why the investigators, Karen's a victim of an occult that drugged her and tried to kill her before. These people were part of the drug dealers they were getting the drugs from, playing with me. That's where, how could that agent fall for it? See, that's where where's a court-order? There isn't. Dave told Danny he hired Pete on his own. His girlfriend's dad. Then there's conflict of interest. You can't do something because somebody's dating your daughter. You can't drug up the wife. You can't Photoshop her. You can't stalk her. You can't be hired to do it. You can't interfere in somebody's life. Huh? See, that's where there are so many laws. These people should have went to jail for racketeering. Racketeering is drugs, kidnapping, extortion, embezzlement, a whole list of crimes. And you get 20 years. They should have been arrested for racketeering, for drugs and kidnapping me, human trafficking me, and stalking me. And stalking tapes are not credible and they aren't admissible. That's where my friend from the Stark County Prosecutor's Office is a fraud scheme. They made a big mistake. They did it in your home. Nobody could be in your home. It's a Fourth Amendment. Only police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements. Because these people are saying nobody's safe anywhere. That Michelle and the drug cartel can break in anybody's home and stalk them. They won't know they're there. They can sell their families on porn sites, their kids on kiddie porn sites. They have no rights. They rule the United States of America. They can have the drug cartel guys pick your locks, get in your house, and while you're sleeping, stab you with a date rape drug, tell you say something stupid, you wake up in the morning thinking you have the flu. Throwing up and think, where did I bump my arm or my leg yesterday? Worse, you get a severe personal infection. Go to the doctor, it's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been throwing up lately. I got all these bruises. I thought I had cancer. And well, maybe you're coming anemic. Give you some iron pills. The doctor wasn't even putting it together. Give me stuff for headaches and throwing up. My heart had been racing through my neck. I didn't know what was wrong with me. They could have gave me a heart attack. You do realize that's attempted murder. And then they have those drug guys beat and rape me so I wouldn't know what happened to me. That's sick. It's a very sick, mean like they said, it's a sick, mean teenage stunt. Most teenagers go to jail for this. So where would that agent fall for a drug scam? See, that's where Woody, my friend from the prosecutor, the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be safe and secure within your own person, within your own self and around you. Nobody can harm you. Nobody can touch you if you don't want them to. Or it's an assault. Okay? Your places, your homes, your papers, and effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. The Department of Justice actually looks at your home as a castle and it shall not be entered into. So where would Michelle and retired Judge Pete and the drug cartel think that they can break in private homes? They could be hired to do it. They can't. See what I mean? No searches, no seizures without probable cause warranted. You have to have a court order. Okay? Warranted with an oath or affirmation of the people, places, and things to be searched and seized. Now, police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements. There's nothing else. Why? Because you also have a right to remain quiet and a right to an attorney. You ever get arrested and an officer does not give you your Miranda rights? You get all the way to the point you're in front of a judge to get charges. You look at them and say, I never had my Miranda rights. I've never, and they would say, you better prove it to the officer that they did give it to me. If they can't prove it, guess what? You get let go and everything they had gets thrown out because you had a right to remain quiet and a right to an attorney. That alone would keep them out of your home. See, what these people are saying is Michelle and retired Judge Pete and the drug cartel can break into anybody's home. they can stalk them. They can sell them on porn sites or kids on kiddie porn sites. They can brag that and laugh at them that they put a shower scene in the other room. And that they were playing with you, where you had the bruise on, you couldn't explain, and you're throwing up, and you thought you had the flu. They broke in and date raped, drugged you, and told you to say something stupid. You'd be like, you did what to me? And then where you got infected, we had some of the guys rape you. You did what? See what I mean? See, Dave kept touching me so I wouldn't know he was human trafficking me. He's sick. He's very sick, but so are they. So you're going to say that they can do this to anyone in the United States and nobody has rights, and Michelle and retired Judge Peter, the new law and order over the United States, because you know the president was on TV that no domestic terrorism group would be tolerated. Domestic terrorism is a group of people to further their own ideology, which is their own beliefs, with political or religious backing, okay, with threats or harm to any human life against the U.S. constitutional laws. It's domestic terrorism at its finest. See, they don't have a right to violate anybody. That's where Michelle yelled at him Sunday, September 3rd, 23, across Kohl's. These people better not say anything to her. That idiot confessed he photoshopped everything before. Well, she's some kind of nurse, I know. And these people better not say a word to her. That idiot already confessed he photoshopped everything on her before. The girl said, well, you told them they wanted everything, so those people made it happen. How dare they? Then she broke up with him. That's how ridiculous it is, because it wasn't fun anymore. Think she'd actually stay with a 60-year-old man? Come on now. She's just enjoying the attention. The drug cartel used that case that agent opened with me, and he just left me up there to die. Had an officer talk to Dave. He mentions Pete on the recorded line, laughing at me. And I don't even know who Pete was. He's laughing at my rapist and my stalker, and I don't know what he's talking about, nor have I ever talked to him. I didn't even know who he was talking about. That's how sick it is. And he's mocking me on a recorded line. I turned him into the Department of Justice. I turned him into Internal Affairs. I turned him into the Inspector General. They got him dead to rights for a lot of crimes. And then he opened a real case with statements, money and immunity, and then fed me to a drug cartel. And then stole $295,000. I'm going to upload this.